everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim. In the last session, we returned home, once again, to the College of Winterhold. As is customary when Elwyn returns back to the College of Winterhold, he takes part in a little bit of resting and recuperating, and he stashes away all of his items that he wants to keep for future use, or for showing off to students, and, of course, a little bit more study and contemplating on what he has learnt from his past endeavours. As a result of that, his alteration has increased slightly, his skill in illusion has increased slightly, but perhaps the biggest revelation of all, after spending a little time in the Arcadium studying some of the tomes, he's figured out how to do this. Yes, indeed. We now have two weapons of mass destruction at our disposal, rather than just one. We have Fluffy, and we have his evil twin brother, who is yet to be named. So in the comments of this video, feel free to leave a suggestion as to what we should call Fluffy's evil twin. We're going to highly look forward to dungeon delving in the future, because seeing two of these things running around is going to make for some, well, highly amusing viewing. So, with his magical practice complete, we have a couple of quests to do. The first one is we need to speak with Anya again and inform him that we have gathered his stronger cogs, and the second one is to do with Elwyn's magical advancement. You see, we need to head up to the top of one of the towers, summon an unbound Dremora Lord, and, well, try and find out how to gain the Master Conjuration spells by trying to control that thing. But before we do that, there's one thing I'd like to do. 3 or 4 sessions ago, something like that, I did state that I would, at some point, go through some of the stats of the game so far. Some of the achievements that Elwyn has succeeded in, and I kind of slipped my mind until maybe a couple of days ago when somebody actually asked how many quests do you think I've completed, and that jogged my memory. So what better way to start today's session at the College of Winterhold than taking a little bit of downtime and just going through some of those stats. So that's what we'll do. Now we've got the general stats. We can see the amount of locations discovered there. Dungeons cleared, 70. 146 days have passed, so Elwyn has been roaming Skyrim's vast plains, mountains, you name it, marshes. He's been there, and yeah, that's how much time he has spent here. 680 hours of sleep. 277 hours of waiting. Now obviously I do wait off camera for various reasons, so that might be a little bit exaggerated. 19 standing stones found. We found 237,000 gold. Quite a bit. But at any one time the most we have carried is 48,000. We have looted 1,463 chests. I wonder how many urns as well. 606 skill increases, 60 skill books read, 145 foods eaten, training sessions 31, 290 books read. Avid reader, as we can already tell. Houses owned 2, one in Whiterun and one now recently purchased in Riften. We have not invested in any stores. I don't know how to do that, actually. Do we need to be a certain perk for that? I think we might do. 2,092 barter, 17 persuasions, 3 bribes, 1 intimidation. Elwyn, not an intimidating kind of guy, would much prefer to use his diplomatic charm. And he's contracted 6 diseases, all of which have been cured, none of which are terminal. So that's the general stats. Moving on to quests specifically, 43 total quests completed, 148 miscellaneous objectives, 9 main quests, 18 side quests, no companions, all 10 of the College of Winterhold. I say all 10. I'm assuming that's the main College of Winterhold quests, rather than any potential side quests that we're now unlocking here. No Thieves Guild, 1 Dark Brotherhood quest, no Civil War, 7 Daedric quests, 1 quest line completed. So that's the questing side of things. Combat. People killed 540, all of which deserved it. Animals killed 441, we're trying to reduce that number now, apart from wolves and butterflies. 172 creatures, 503 undead, 70 Daedra, 49 automatons. My favourite weapon, the only weapon Elwyn will ever use, is the bound bow. Way back when he first started out, I did outline that he thinks weapons very crude and cumbersome, and he would much prefer to use magic. Bound bow is the rare exception. 1 critical strike with that weapon and 1 sneak attack with that weapon. No backstabs, no weapons disarmed. He's won 1 brawl all the way back in Markarth, if I remember rightly, and bunnies slaughtered, none. And that will remain so. How can you slaughter a bunny? Magic. He's learned 76 spells. His favourite spell is telekinesis. You have never seen him use telekinesis on camera, or I should say never. You very rarely see him using telekinesis on camera. So why is that his favourite spell? It's because it's a spell he practices when he's learning his alteration. That's why that's his favourite school. Draken Souls collected 30. Words of Power learned 28. Unlocked 28. Shouts learned 14. Shouts mastered 4. 313 times shouted, and his favourite shout, and my favourite shout, is Unrelenting Force. You can't beat the hilarity of seeing one of your enemies flying off a ledge. It's absolutely hilarious. Soul Gems used 3. No souls trapped. 96 magical items made, 1 weapon improved, 96 weapons made, armour improved 1, armour made 2, potions mixed 227, potions used 135, poisons 248, ingredients harvested 3,261. That's a lot of plucking wings and picking herbs. 87 ingredients eaten, 45 Nirnuns found, and yes, there is a stat for wings plucked, and it currently stands at 274. By the end of the game, let's see if Elwyn can make it to 500. And crime. He's not a criminal. He doesn't want to commit crime, but sometimes it can't be avoided. Total lifetime bounty, 1,098 gold pieces. The largest bounty was 1,000. I've picked 177 locks. Picked no pockets. I've been jailed once in my life. I've paid 51 fines. Never escaped jail. Stolen 6 items, again, from people who deserve to be stolen from. 177 assaults against bandits and the like. 1 murder. Can't remember who that was, but it must have been an accident. And considering Elwyn's clumsiness, I think 1 murder is actually pretty good so far. 2 horses stolen and 3 trespasses. So there you go. There are the stats for Elwyn's adventures thus far. I reckon, by my estimation, that we're about 60% through the LP, maybe just about that. I think we're just over. I think we're about halfway through the main quest line. I haven't done too much research into this because I didn't want to spoil anything, but about halfway there, and we've explored about half of the map, if not more. So when quests take us back into areas that we've already explored, we don't have to explore it again, and so we don't have to do any side quests unless we stumble across them. So the main quest line will start to progress quicker and quicker as we get back into areas that we've already explored. I think the areas we need to explore a little bit more is the Windhelm area around that particular part of town. Maybe a bit more around Falkreath down the bottom side of the map. And then there's like Morthal and back to Dawnstar for a couple of things. But other than that, we've explored a lot of the main holds. So there's going to be, as the game progresses from here on in, there's going to be less side questing, less of the exploration portion of the LP, and the main quest line should pick up a little bit of pace. That's what I'm anticipating. Whether it works out like that is a different kettle of fish. Okay, so there you go. I'm sure you're ready for me to now crack on with today's session, but I just thought I'd take this opportunity now while we're back here just to summarise a few things, and there you go. Right, so with my two buddies in tow, shall we, before we go summoning Unbound Daedra, I think we'll just go speak with Mr. Arniel Gain. Tell him we've got them cogs. Arniel's Endeavour. There we go. So if we highlight that, it should tell us where the hell he is. So we don't have to go searching for him too much. Where art thou, Arniel? Come to me. The Archmage wants to speak with you. There's something in the air, and it's not love. No, no, no. Is it the beating wings of a dragon? Maybe. You know it's coming, folks. You have to excuse me if my voice seems a bit croaky or if I start cracking up a bit. I have actually got a cold. But that won't stop me.
Good day, friend. Keeping well?
I am keeping well. You want to be careful how you walk towards the Archmage with a fire crackling out of your hand. It's not a good look. Hello, Tolfdir!
Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. You give an old man hope.
How has the college been in my absence? Things been running smoothly?
I'm always available should you need me, Archmage.
Ooh. Ooh. I wonder if it get... Oh. Excuse. I'm not very au fait with this. But I wonder if level 90 is the mark. If we reach level 90 in the various schools, I wonder if we can unlock this mission, this quest, to get the master spells. So like the conjuration, we're now going to do that one. It seems as if I can talk to Tolfdir about the alteration master spells now. So if that's the case, we need to search out the destruction trainer as well, and the illusion. Of course, restoration being our weakest subject.
All, like it or not, at this very moment, no. However, well, I've been working on something, an improvement on the ebony flesh spell. I've made progress, but then hit a snag. I think perhaps you could help.
What's the problem?
I need dragon scales, and not just any dragon scales. As I've said, I made some progress using the essence of dragon scales, but they're just not quite potent enough. My knowledge of Skyrim's history is far from complete, but I did some research and discovered two things. First, there are ancient references to dragon heart scales. What little I could learn suggests they may be what I need. Second, there are stories of a dagger called Calvozine's Fang, said to be sharp enough to carve individual scales off a dragon. First, you'll need to retrieve the dagger, then use it to carve a few scales off a dragon. Presumably a deceased one.
Okay. This is handy. I shall return shortly with some dragon scales for you. No problem.
That would be wonderful.
I'm sure our dragon will be flying here
I'll be sure
soon.
and have everything ready. This is exciting, isn't it?
An improvement to my ebony flesh. That would be nice. So maybe level 90 isn't the point that we can learn, but well, if we do get an improvement to the ebony flesh spell, it's something. It's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the spell that I'm using at the moment? Ebony flesh? It is, yeah. Right, okay. The reason why I say that's pretty handy is because just by happenstance, I actually found Calvozine's Fang in the last dungeon I was in. And I couldn't get rid of it into any of the chests because it said it's a quest item, and I was wondering what the hell quest item is it, and it's just now become rather apparent. So very handy indeed. So we have this Fang already, so all we need to do is find a dragon, slay it, and carve off some scales. I'll be back. Thank you, Tolfdir. Right, where's Arniel bloody Gain? I thought we'd be just popping back here into the College of Winterhold, but if we keep picking up quests like this, we might be spending more time here than we first anticipated. Right, where is he? Is he upstairs? He's here, sat down, chilling out and drinking mead or something.
Perhaps we can go another few decades without a disaster. That would be nice.
Well, I'm hoping that my reign here as Archmage will not have any disasters. That will be a success in my eyes. Anyway, I've got the cogs you asked for.
Ah, that's excellent news. This will be most helpful in furthering my research. I'm afraid I can't offer you much right now, but please take this. And perhaps, if this is all successful... Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's too early to be getting excited. Still, this is most encouraging. Thank you again. If I require anything else, I shall be sure and let you know.
Okay, so he's given us 750 gold pieces, and he's still being rather coy and secretive about this experiment, so we'll just probe a little bit more, see if there's anything else we can help him out with, because I want to progress this. I want to see what this big secret is.
As a matter of fact, there is something you can do for me. I had retained Enther's services in acquiring something specific, but now he's refusing to deliver. Could you perhaps speak with him and see if we can come to some sort of arrangement?
Okie dokie, no problem.
Until next time.
Ah, and just the fellow we need to speak to. Enther! Sit down, please. How are you?
I'm certainly nothing illicit going on here, Archmage. You can be quite sure of that.
Yes, first of all, let's just conduct a wee bit of business.
I hope you've got some coin.
Plenty. Question is, what have you got?
Well, let's just take a look then.
I have come to you for one thing and one thing only. You see, I have recently created a new spell, of which I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's a big secret right now. I'm just trying to perfect it, but it requires Daedra Hearts, and I believe you have 2. There you go. Look at that. Very handy indeed. And some death bells as well. I need some... Do I need death... No, I need nightshades. Is it nightshades or death bell? It must be the other one. Anyway, Daedra Hearts, 2 of them. They are extremely expensive, but I need them. Thank you so kindly. Anyway, now to the real business. I understand you have something of Arniel's.
Oh dear. He's so afraid to talk to me, he's sending you to do it? I should have expected as much. I'm afraid you've been a little misinformed. I have something of mine that I was going to sell to Arniel. With all due respect, Archmage, I'm not in a position to just give this away. I told Arniel what I wanted in exchange for it, and he was unwilling to come up with it. Now, if you're here on his behalf, I'm afraid I'm going to have to insist on my original payment.
Which is?
I have a friend, let's say, who's interested in a staff. A particular one. It's nothing dangerous, so don't worry. I'm not even sure why he wants it, but then that's not really my concern. He's willing to pay for it. The problem is that it'll be a little difficult to acquire, seeing as how it's in the hands of someone who isn't exactly friendly.
Okay.
So you bring that staff back here, and I'll consider it payment for the item Arniel was after.